Christian Wood coming off the bench. It's a very interesting decision recently made by the Dallas Mavericks, supposedly Christian Wood in response on Twitter, LOL. The Dallas Mavericks. All right. Unfortunately for Dallas last season, they had to catch a very, very talented Golden State Warriors team. And, well, after knocking off top seed Phoenix Suns, it's just tough timing, man. It's just tough timing. And so you lost Jalen Brunson, but you gained Christian Wood. You gained Spencer Dinwiddie at the deadline. You gained JaVale McGee. Dallas is a good basketball team, okay? Dallas is a really good basketball team. Whenever you have a talent like Luka Doncic, you can win any game, no matter if it's regular season, playoffs, no matter who you have. That's how good Luka Doncic is. I don't know if it's because he's in Dallas and Dallas doesn't get too much love from national media, or maybe it's because he's not American. I don't actually really know what the situation is, but Luka Doncic is one of the best players in the NBA, and I think most people know that, but a lot of people don't really talk about it, or at least give him the credit that he is deserving. Last season, 28, 9-9. This man has been a menace ever since he got into the league, and he's going to win an MVP very soon, and he might win MVP this season. We'll see. My thoughts on Dallas are this. Before we get into it, if you guys enjoy it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. We're here back home in Chicago. I went to the Bears game yesterday. I fly to Fort Myers tomorrow. I just moved to Fort Myers. You might not see a video from me for a little bit. I don't really know. I've never been through a hurricane. I don't know what the electricity is like. I'm not really too worried about it, so just letting you guys know if you don't see a video from me in a couple of days or a week, depending on the hurricane, just to let you know. But let's hit that like button. Let's try and get 100 likes on today's video. Mavs Nation always shows a ton of love whenever I make a Mavs video. I need to make way more Mavs videos because Luka's awesome, dude. I absolutely love watching Luka. I don't see how people think, it's boring. I love Luka. I love the city of Dallas. I love the state of Texas. And I'm rooting for him, but I will admit I have some flaws in it. I do have some flaws, and I don't think this is anything new. I just don't know if they truly have enough to get to that championship contending level. They're technically contenders. I mean, any team that made the Western Conference last season, the NBA, making the Western Conference Finals, that's a huge, huge win. And as many flaws, as many holes as some NBA fans saw with Phoenix, I don't think anybody really was expecting Dallas to make as deep of a run as they did. You really went out there and got pieces that were needed. I think that in specific, JaVale McGee, first off, I think he had a top 5 backup center year last year of all time. Might I add, top 5 all time as a backup center. I think that's how good, that's how efficient, that's how big of an impact he had on him last year. So I think getting JaVale was good. Now, I don't think personally JaVale's going to be the starter for the entire season. I know he decided to go to Dallas because supposedly they offered him the starting job. Christian Wood, 18-10. If you watch my Rocket videos, when he first got to Houston, I was saying 20-10, put it in pen. If there's somebody who's going to bring out the best in Christian Wood, it's going to be Luka. All right? Christian Wood, in his first game with the Houston Rockets, James Harden dropped 44 and 17. It was the season he got traded, requested a trade, whatever you want to call it. Christian Wood, that was truly his first breakout season. This was a guy who had only started in 8 or 9 games up until the year before, where he was with Detroit. Detroit started him for about 20 games or so. He was starting career-wise only 30 or so games. His entire NBA career, he's been around for a while. He's stuck around for it. He's worked really hard to get to this moment. He looked so good with James Harden that I think he's going to look so freaking good with Dallas that as a sixth man, I think it's disrespectful. I don't care how bad he is on defense. We'll see how him and JaVale play. Christian didn't play too great with Daniel Tice, a big boy center, but at the same time, the Houston Rockets offense was very dysfunctional all season until pretty much the end, so I don't want to blame Daniel Tice on that. I just think that Christian Wood is way too good of an offensive talent to bench. I don't care what his defense is. I think he's not a center. I don't know. I know, I was on my Daily Live NBA show, Ciro and I were talking today, I just don't view Christian Wood as a center. Maybe he can play center, but I don't think him being your starting center is the move. I think he is a true power forward, and hopefully he's putting on a bunch of weight, because maybe that can change and he can be a lot more reliable at center. But I remember guys like Dwight Powell, no disrespect to Dwight Powell, but not a crazy scorer, dropping 30 on them last season. So we'll see. All I know is this. If Christian Wood's getting any playing time with Luka, he's going to ball his ass off, okay? He's going to ball his ass off. And Dallas has a bunch of surrounding talent, as we saw as they made the Western Conference Finals this past season. Now, can they get to a top 4 seed? That remains to be seen. All right, that remains to be seen. Is definitely not out of the equation, and I would not be surprised, I would not be shocked if that happened one bit. But I think they're going to hover somewhere between 4 and 5 in the West. That's how good Luka is, and that's how much depth they have. They have sneaky depth. I know they lost Jalen, and I know that was a tough loss. Dennis Schroeder would have been money for him, in my opinion. Maybe Jaden Hardy can come in and fulfill that role, but I don't think he's going to be that efficient. I think it might take a little bit of time to get him into like a Jalen-esque role. But just because you lost Jalen Brunson doesn't mean that you need to, or you can forget about Dallas. That's not the case. That's not the situation in any way, shape, or form. Tim Hardaway Jr., this is a big year for him. All right, he missed about half the season last year. When Tim Hardaway Jr. is healthy and making his shots, he could drop 30 on your head easily. Reggie Bullock, I think he's going to be coming off the bench once Christian Wood gets in that starting lineup. But Reggie Bullock, solid 3-and-D player. Dorian Finney-Smith, one of the most underrated, best-kept secrets, in my opinion, in the entire league. He can knock down threes. He can score. He can rebound. He can even distribute a little bit. But his defense is phenomenal. You can play him at the 3. You can play him at the 4. He can guard the 3. He can guard the 4. You don't feel bad when he switches on to a guard. You don't feel bad when he switches on to a big man. Like, Dorian Finney-Smith is a guy who can do more than hold his own, and he is a sneaky X factor for this team next year. But Spencer Dinwiddie was rock solid. 14, 4, and 5. Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be really nice off of the bench or starting if they decide to start him, but I think he's going to come off the bench. We know Dallas does like to run with 3 guards out there. I fully anticipate, just like we saw last year, Spencer Dinwiddie, he's going to get plenty of reps. And if Spencer Dinwiddie can just stay healthy, I just think that Dallas is getting overlooked because of the departure of Jalen Brunson. I think that is the only reason. People are forgetting about Spencer Dinwiddie and what he offered Dallas once he got traded there. Offered them a lot. It's going to continue. Frank the Tank, one hell of a defensive guy. Got it even going a little bit at times on offense last season. Josh Green, nice 3-and-D piece right there. Davis Bertans, Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell. This is a deep team, man. This is a very, very deep team. And if they're healthy, they're going to 100% make the playoffs. They're 100% going to be a top 6 seed. But it's going to come down on the quote-unquote role players. Can they get to that contending level? We'll wait and see. But Christian Wood off the bench, that's a little blasphemous to me. I don't really agree with that. I don't think it'll last if it does come out. And if that happens, he's too good on offense. And I think with JaVale, with the Dallas Mavericks defense, I really don't think he's going to get exposed like he did in Houston, who had the worst defense in the league. Right? I view actually the Christian Wood situation similarly to Cat. Obviously, he's way smaller than Cat, but Cat got viewed for years and years as just a terrible defender because he was playing with 4 terrible defenders, and they would breeze by the guards, they would breeze by the wings on their first step, and it would come down to Karl Anthony Towns like every game, every position, or not every play, I'm being dramatic here, but every single night. So I think Christian Wood, I think that JaVale McGee, Spencer Dinwiddie, this offers Dallas a lot. We're going to learn a lot more about this team. It could even get a little bit deeper with Tyler Dorsey. Like I said, Jaden Hardy, his ceiling is so high where I don't think too many people would be surprised if Jaden Hardy had a Malcolm Brogdon-esque rookie season where you're in the second round in a pretty deep draft and you win Rookie of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. If that were to happen, that just makes this team even more deadly. So I think Dallas will fall somewhere between 4 and 5. Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll catch you guys later.